Okay, in this video we are going to go over SmartRate and the contract list in SmartRate. So all of your contracts for all of your customers. But I do want to show you a shortcut real quick. Right now I'm in Connect, so that's our CRM, and I'm on my customer list. Let's say that you wanted to see your contracts for AZ Drivelines. Just simply click on the big red button next to the client that says Contracts, and it will open up a new tab here, and it will be nothing but the contracts for that particular customer. Of course, once you get to that screen, you can sort by the customer as well, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So let's go ahead and get into SmartRate. I'm going to click on SmartRate over here, and I'm going to go into Contracts. Now here's a list of all my contracts. Now if you're a manager, you can select all employees and it'll show you all the contracts in the entire system. But for you sales reps, you won't have an option to select the other employees. You only have your own. You really won't even see this drop down menu. Now here's a list of I just have 3 test contracts here. And right now I'm on the Contracts tab. You'll notice there's an Archive tab and Trash tabs. So the difference between the Archive and Trash, the Trash is intended for contracts you don't think you're ever going to want to use again. You kind of put them in the trash, but they don't get deleted. They're just in the trash can. And then you also have an Archive as well. So the idea is that the Archive is for contracts that you think you may want to use again in the future. The trash can is for contracts you don't think you're ever going to want to use again. But again, nothing gets deleted, so you can always go and use contracts out of the trash and duplicate them and use them for another customer or maybe for the same customer. Now the duplication option is really nice if you do a really complex long contract. You can simply duplicate it and again use it for the same customer or a different customer. So we have bulk actions up here. So this option up here, and you'll see this bulk actions on really a lot of our screens, and it that's exactly what it is. It's bulk to do a bulk action to many elements in the system. So since I'm in SmartRate, I could, with bulk actions, send a bunch to the archive or send a bunch to the trash. And I don't have to select them all. I can say, okay, I only want this one and this one, and I want to send it to the trash. And then you just got to make sure that you hit apply. Next, we have the ability to sort by the status. So one thing to remember, you may want to take note on this. This is sticky, meaning that if you put it on active and you leave the screen and you come back to that screen, it's going to stay on active. A lot of people think they lose contracts because they forgot that they put this filter on the status selector. So just make sure that you're always checking this. Most of the time, you're probably going to want it on all. But who knows, maybe you only want to review your rejected contracts and so on. You can also sort by customer as well. So maybe I only want to see my contracts for AZ Drivelines. I can do that. And then by default, the system only loads 8 at a time, but you can adjust that as well. Now the reason we default to 8 is to try and get the system to load faster, but if you want to see 20 at a time, you can do that. But just know that the page is going to load quite a bit slower. So to open up a contract while you're here is just simply open up the contract. And then as long as it hasn't been submitted, you can edit it. Now if it's been submitted, is what you need to do is a change contract. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But let's go over kind of the information here at a glance here. You have your name of your customer, the name of the contract, the rep, even though it's you. It does say your name, but for you managers, that's helpful. Just kind of as a reminder as whose list you're on. What stations that that contract's running on. You got your start dates, the end dates, and the date it was created. Then up here we see what type of contract it is. Standard CTB. CTB stands for cash, trade, or bonus contract. And we also have one-sheets and packages, and I'm going to show you how to do one-sheets and packages, and really just all contracts in another video. And then you can see here that it's not been signed, and I'm going to show you something here real quick when we open up a contract. And we'll go over this again in another video. You're obviously, once you get the contract all good to go, you're going to want to print it off, and you have a weekly, a monthly, and a summary. And I'll get a little bit deeper into that in the other videos. But once you print that off and you get a signature on that contract, you probably want to bring it here, scan it, bring it back to your office, scan it, upload the file, and then say yes, it is signed, and then go ahead and submit it. Okay? And then you have your contract number. This contract number is really handy when you need some help on a contract, trying to find a contract. When you contact us down here, you can see here, it's the weekend right now, so we're not technically online, but do know that you can always email us, and we'll get back to you real quick. If you need support, it's support@influencefm.com. That's support@influencefm.com. And you can always call us too. So if we're not online, give us a call or email us. And the only reason we wouldn't be online, it's a holiday or it's on the weekend. And we'll get back to you. But this chat support system, we take a lot of pride in this. So if you ever don't ever get frustrated, don't bang your head on the desk. Just contact us and we'll get back to you real fast. But when you use the chat system, again, we take a lot of pride in it. We answer that in under 10 seconds guaranteed. Very rarely do we go over 10 seconds. I think maybe once or twice we've done that in our history. So yeah, there's that there. Now, on the action button here, so we can do a few things. As long as the contract hasn't been submitted, we can view or edit the contract. You can also click on the name of the contract too, or the name of the customer. That's the same as opening the contract. You can also view the customer history. This is nice, so you don't have to go back to your customer list and connect here to view the history. See what you said to that customer in the past, and that history is all taken from the calendar. You can also print your contracts without opening up the contract, because as I showed you before, you can open these up, and at the bottom there's some print options: weekly, monthly, and summary. You can do that right here. Just click on weekly, monthly, or summary. Now, if you're new to Influence FM and you haven't printed anything out of our system yet, nothing's going to happen when you click on that, when you click on weekly, monthly, or summary. The reason for that is that your pop-ups are being blocked. Look in the top right-hand corner up here, and I think it'll actually, I just cleared my cache, so I should be able to make this work. So I like using the monthly, so I'm going to print off the monthly. And again, in another video, I'm going to go over what the differences are between these, but monthly. Oh no, I did remember it. So, but if you didn't allow pop-ups yet, look in the top right-hand corner next to this little star, and just click on it and say allow pop-ups. After you click on print one of those, you're going to see that message and just say allow pop-ups. And when you do that once, you'll never have to do it again. Okay. Now down below this, we have signed contract. Now this is nice, if you have a customer that you're familiar with and you don't need to see them in person, you can just email them the contract and they can put in their electronic signature and it comes back signed. It marks it as signed for you, kind of does all the work for you, and you don't have to scan anything and upload it. It just automatically puts it in the system for you and attaches it in the system. And then here we have send to archive, send to trash, same as our bulk options here, but this is for doing just one contract at a time. So you're going, okay, I'm never going to use this contract again, I want to send it to the trash. Or I might use it again, I want to send it to the archive. And the reason you'd want to do that is if you have had a client for 2 or 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years, your contract list starts getting pretty long, and you just want to kind of clean up your main work area, you can do that. This is a really handy feature here, duplicate a contract. Duplicating a contract is exactly as it seems there. It just puts the name copy on it. That's real handy if you do a really long contract that has a ton of line items. For instance, if it's if the company that you're advertising has a different schedule every single week, and you go back to renew that contract next year, you don't want to have to rebuild that whole thing. You can just simply duplicate it, and then you can of course edit it after you've duplicated it. Maybe some details have changed, but it makes it so you don't have to do a lot of that work. Another cool thing about that is that you can duplicate a contract and use it for a different customer, and again change little details if you need to. Now view add files, view/add files I should say. Click on this, and then you'll be able to view all the files that have been uploaded to that particular contract. Okay, you notice up here it says this contract. I haven't uploaded any files yet. Or I can view all the files for this client that have ever been uploaded in the entire system. So there could be audio in there could be a Word doc, there could be a PDF, video file, whatever. If you've uploaded it to this client, you can access it right here without having to go to other parts of the system. And here's the upload button too. Upload a file. Click on that. Find your file. Upload it. And that's the last option on the action button. And that's it for this training.